Very excited today because we're going to interview Kraken OXTS 86V. Welcome to the show.
Hi, glad to be here.
Ox has the highest collection power in the entire game. More importantly than that, he has a 7-star Mordo, and he's played him a ton. And we're going to answer 2 questions. Is he amazing? Should you go hard in the blitz? Should you open the packs? And we're going to get your opinion on that because you've been playing him in the arena and you have some opinions on him. Is that correct?
Yeah, for sure. At first, I started playing him as a 2 stars when I unlocked him. I did a video about that. I was waiting to get him to 7 stars, just seeing where I would place in blitz to get those shards, but I couldn't wait, man. Was really excited about him, so I decided to 7-star that guy right away. If you look at his abilities, I think there's a huge potential here for Mordo. But the main point with that character you're going to have to keep in mind is that he's a lot of RNG based. So he could turn up a fight for you, have a huge fight, but he could also be deceiving in some fights. So you're going to have to see. There's some showcase videos that you will be able to see about that. So huge potential for debuffs, 100% controller character. And yeah, I'm pretty excited about it.
So be sure to check out his channel. I'm going to link a channel to his description. I think you've got a video coming out for Ultimus. You've got 7-star Mordo. The most important thing that you shared with me is that when he's maxed out, he actually has the highest power, even higher than Captain America currently. So that's very good for getting points in Blitz, correct?
Yeah, for sure. He's topping the roster at 30,345 power, just about 100 over Captain America. So he's actually the highest power for now.
Okay, before we talk about whether he's good or not, let's just go over the kit very quickly. The main thing I think is that he's a mystic, and then he has this passive ability, too many sorcerers, on death of any character, heals Seth for 10% of this character's max health. On death of a mystic, this is the part I think is interesting, heal self for 15% of this character's max health, plus gain ability energy. That's cool, gaining health, but is gaining that ability energy pretty useful?
I think it will be in some cases for sure. You have to remember, guys, that it's death of any character, so it counts your opponents. So as you kill people, you're actually going to be able to recover some HP, and more of them when you kill a mystic. Gaining that ability energy, I think, is always good. You're going to be able to apply more debuffs. The little drawback about that is the highest ability costing, energy ability costing is the last one, which is Demons of Denak. And I believe that's the less overpowered one, if you believe. It's because it's all about heal block, which is not really relevant right now in the meta. Mm-hmm. It's going to be able to counter some characters like Night Nurse for sure, but
don't see a lot of Night Nurse in the arena, I'll tell you that.
Exactly. So I think what you're going to want to focus on are the two first abilities.
All right, let's talk about Mesmerize first. And this looks amazing on paper, and I'm just going to read it right here. But the main thing is that it does not do any damage. 50% chance to apply stun to the primary target. If the target is not stunned, apply blind to the target. 50% chance blind. 3 additional targets. 50% chance to apply slow. So this is very random. And his focus is not the highest. What are your thoughts about this, especially because it does not do damage?
If you look at an ability like that does actually no damage at all, you'd want to have something a little bit more reliable, I think, for applying the debuffs, because that's the only thing that it's actually going to do. If you look at maxed Mordo's focus is around 1400. If you compare with another controller like Hawkeye, for instance, he's around 1700. So you can see the difference there. Lots of layers of RNG in that Mesmerize ability. If the stun doesn't get off, you're going to be able to apply blind, and you have a chance to apply it to other people. So main problem with that is that it's going to be a little bit random. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you're going to try to apply some debuffs on characters that have high resistance, like Jessica Jones, for instance. Mm-hmm. Sometimes not going to apply anything at all. As deceiving as it can be in some cases, it could be huge in other cases. Like if you go against a team of mostly DPS characters with no tanks or characters with less resistance, you can apply a ton of debuffs that can really turn up a fight around. So I think the potential on paper is really, really high. If you actually play 7 stars Mordo or any Mordo, I think in about half the fights, you're going to see really cool results, really something that's going to help you in your fight. But definitely RNG makes it a little bit less overpowered. Yeah.
So unpredictability is not a good thing, especially in 4X and Tier 8 or the Arena for that matter. So that is not as good as I would have thought. The other thing, too, is that we've got stun and the blind mechanics here. Some people would argue that blind is actually a little bit better because it'll cost the opponent to waste their special ability. But blind doesn't work on all characters. I mean, it depends on... Blind does nothing to, like, Hawkeye, correct?
Exactly. So some characters have higher than 100% accuracy. So even if you blind them, they're going to be able to get their attacks off. Depending on which characters you apply it to or you attempt to apply it to, it can be a little bit underwhelming.
All right, now let's talk about the basic attack. Attack primary target for 190% damage. Apply 1 to 2 random negative effects. And my issue with this is that my understanding, those negative effects can only be one of the 3. With slow, offense down, and defense down. But there's no bleed, there's no stun, there's no blind in those random negative effects. So is that a big deal or not a big deal?
I think it's not that big of a deal because the 3 that can actually be applied, offense down, defense down, and slow, have 2 of the most powerful debuffs for me in slow and defense down. If you fight a lot with Quake, for instance, you're going to see how powerful slow is. Also, defense down can pretty much render a target almost vulnerable to any attack. Sometimes you're going to one hit HKO those targets. So defense down is pretty powerful. Offense down can really be useful. I think that the best part about that ability is that you actually get to choose with which target you attack. So target a character you choose and apply the debuffs there. Of course, you're going to have to deal with the taunts like any usual fights. I've seen just as many two debuffs applied than 1, and I can definitely say that in some fights, applying both slow and defense down on a character can be really, really, really good.
Okay, so overall, let's just talk about Arena, Blitz, and Raid. We'll talk about Arena first. Any chance that this guy is going to make your Arena squad?
No.
No. Okay, I thought that was pretty clear from right when I read the kit. Now, Blitz, is this going to make any of your infinite, squads that you use, your sure-to-win squads for Tier 8, in the 4X, and what teams would you use him in?
He's not going to make any of my top 3 teams in Blitz for sure. They're already pretty much set up in the meta right now with the Avengers and S.H.I.E.L.D. team, the Villains team with Kingpin, Nobu, Elektra, Winter Soldier, etc. And also the Guardians of the Galaxy team, which I use in Drax, Gamora, Rocket, Yondu, and Nebula. So he's definitely not going to make any of those teams. But I think he can be useful because there aren't many controller characters in the game that can apply a lot of debuffs. So I think he can be a good addition to a high DPS team. As we talked about, he doesn't do damage with one of his abilities, and his damage isn't that high. If you compare with Hawk, which is another controller, he still has a higher damage than him, though. Definitely, I think it would be best in Blitz to put him in a really high damage output team to maximize that and try to win fights as fast as possible. And definitely look into teams that have less tanks and less characters that have resistance to make sure that you get the full potential of that character in.
Okay, and lastly, any use for him inside of the raids? I mean, do we have any raids or any content that is really high on Mystic characters? And Mystic characters would be like Doctor Strange and All the Hand and Black Panther. Any use for that, you think?
Well, I think that the little bonus that he gets for killing Mystic characters can definitely help. But as of right now, in the raid content, if most people run the Captain America, Black Widow, Quake, Yondu, Night Nurse team, which I posted a while back. I think that by Night Nurse getting a spot in the team with all the heals, getting a second character in that team that does little to no damage would be penalizing your team a lot. If you remove Night Nurse, which I think is a really bad idea because the sustain is just insane, I don't think Mordo would make any of my team in raids at the moment.
Okay. So you answered my questions exactly how I thought. Basically, Mordo is useful, but is not going to be amazing in any of the 3 main game modes. Would you say that's pretty accurate?
I'd say that's really accurate.
Okay, so I think I'm still going to go pretty hard in the Blitz because I definitely want to unlock him. I just want to unlock every character, but he's not a character that I'm going to even remotely consider purchasing myself. So be sure to check out Ox channel. I saw that you do a couple of them in French. Is that correct?
I just did one for my I'm from Quebec, so
I watched a couple minutes of it. I thought it was pretty hysterical. Okay, yeah. So now it's time for the giveaway. Really hope you liked this video today, because if you did, for every single person that likes this video, you will be getting for free an 8-star Mordo cap. This is not a scam. Doesn't it look like he has like no hair and he's just got like a cap on and maybe like he's bald or something? Be sure to check out Ox channel. Be sure to leave a like too if this helped you make a decision on whether or not you wanted to buy the character or not out of the orbs. I'm really grateful that you took the time out to come and speak about it. I'm glad that you unlocked him and you played him a ton.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say before you go?
No, just want to thanks for inviting me. I really like your channel. I've been watching your videos for a while. I've been playing that game really, really hard, but I just started doing some content because a lot of people have asked me to. So I hope you guys enjoy what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to put a lot of effort into it. So yeah, definitely check my my channel out. And thanks to MobileGamer for inviting me.
There you have it. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Keep on gaming.
Peace.
Woo!